you can see, I'm with a quarterback who's had many nights in his career, much like the terrible one that Dan Pastorini is suffering tonight. Remind us of some of them, Don.
I'm getting tired of hearing about that, to tell you the truth. All you can ask for in the second half is help. Get a lot of help. He didn't have a good first half. It wasn't really a good ball game. Darrell didn't throw that well either. I think both teams have got to establish something consistent, Howard. And what that something is, it can be, anything would be an improvement. Whether it's the running game, I don't think they utilize their total offense that much.
What puzzles me, though, Don, and you remember our lengthy talk with Bill Peterson last night, a man for whom we have to have a great deal of respect, a truly fine coach, I think. He calls all the plays for Pastorini, barring a few audibles. That last inexplicable pass could not have been an audible, didn't seem to be, and I can't understand Bill Peterson calling the play.
Well, we don't know that he did, Howard, but as you say, more than likely he did. I don't understand either. He didn't have but 33 seconds, I think, on the clock to do anything with, and it's the kind of situation where you'd expect, let's run a thing out. They're known as the second-half ball club. We're going in at halftime only 3 points down, which is a pretty good situation, and they really gave the thing away, and he came back the next time, and now they're 10 points down, and 10 points is a lot different than 3.
A lot of points against a team as good as Oakland. I think we ought to take another look, perhaps, at that last touchdown.
Suits me. Let's do.
All right, there it goes.
Blendnikov is just getting right behind Alexander, but just by a step. And it was a perfectly thrown ball, as we mentioned earlier. But it's right in the corner, and that's put them 10-0.
10-0 is the score as we go back to the Gipper for the resumption of action, the start of the second half.
Well, I would like to point out, too, that the Houston Oilers trailed the New York Jets 14-0 at halftime only a week ago. And that was when Dan Pastorini showed the type of football player he really is. And we know he is, and I think every football expert will tell you. But you're looking at the statistics overwhelmingly in favor of Oakland. They lead again 10-0, and the total yards 171-27. That's quite a story in itself. Setting it up to get the second half underway is Jerry DePoyster. He'll be kicking deep to number 21, Lindsey Cole. Lindsey Cole on your right, and number 34, Willie Rogers on your left. Houston down 10-0. Poyster with an end-over-end kick. Well, we've seen everything tonight. We just about saw something else as Cole and Willie Rogers gave it an Alphon Gaston act down there at the goal line.
Frank, they were trying desperately to touch that ball, and had one of them touched it, they were actually inbounds. It would have wound up being a safety, and that would have been one of the most unusual safeties, I think, I've ever seen.
All right, here we go. Dan Pastorini back in a quarterback. Willie Rogers, Hoyle, Granger, the setbacks. Ken Burrow, 0-0, one flanker. Charlie Joyner, 18. Out at the top of your screen, the other flanker, Alvin Reed, is 89. He's the tight end. 1st and 10 for the Oilers, moving from their 20. And here comes Willie Rogers. Rogers with a gain of about 4 yards. Nailed there by number 80, Art Toms. Art Toms and Otis Sistrunk are the defensive tackles for the Oakland Raiders. Sistrunk 60, Toms 80. Klein 84 left end, Horace Jones 82 the right end. The linebackers in the middle, number 86 Gerald Irons, Phil Villapiano number 41, one linebacker on the outside, Gassano 34 the other. Second down, call of 6. The ball at the 24-yard line of the Houston Oilers. Looking for the screen. A flag goes down. Granger has the ball. But a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
It's hard to guess what it would be, Frank. We probably shouldn't, but that screen was a little slow in setting up. You saw Pastorini fake to his left and spin back, and it could have been that the offensive lineman had moved down past that line of scrimmage. I don't know what these referees are having fun tonight.
Something has just happened, fellas, that I think we should tell the viewers about, even though they won't be able to see the young man. The penalty, personal foul, as you see. Now, getting back to what I was saying, a young man was just wheeled into our booth. A big young man. fella 6 feet 4 inches tall, who was a quarterback for Kansas State and the number 2 draft choice 2 years ago for the Houston Oilers. A fella named Lynn Dickey dislocated a hip, underwent surgery. They had to cut away a lot of muscle to repair him. He'll not play again this year. His whole football future is doubtful. At the very start of tonight's proceedings, it was Dan Pastorini who was wheeling Lynn Dickey out along the sidelines. Lynn is a great kid and a great competitor. And the hope here in the Astrodome and the hope everywhere is that he'll be back to play again.
There is the personal foul indicated against the Houston Oilers. And again, a long discussion preceding that.
That makes me 0 for 12. I was informed from the booth. I'm not going to say anything about penalties anymore.
Alvin Reed apparently gave someone a pop he should not have. The tight end for the Houston Oilers. Third down. Now the Oilers back from the 13-yard line. And here comes Willie Rogers. Willie Rogers battling up to about the 18. Rather, Hoyle Granger coming back out to the 19-yard line. That offensive line for the Houston Oilers. Calvin Hunt is the center, 51. Ron Soule, 64. Tom Regner, 60, the guards. Lavert Carr, 63, the right tackle. Tom Funchess, the left tackle, number 66. Third down and 11. The ball at the 19 of the Oilers. Just underway in the second half. The Oilers trailing the Raiders 10-0. Both backs circling out of the backfield, and low and hard, but well covered is 00 Ken Burrow, and Willie Brown, 24, the all-pro safety, was right there.
I think you pretty well called it, Frank. Low and hard. Burrow is the speedster that came from New Orleans to Houston. Has done a good job this year for Houston in some of the preseason games and earlier games. That one was a little bit low. And again, Pastorini is not throwing the ball as well as he can.
All right, Pastorini now back to punt. Kick deep to number 21, Cliff Branch. 43 is Atkinson. Oh, and Atkinson took a chance, and it didn't work.
That's still loose down there, and I think Oakland, nope. Oh, there I did it again.
Houston has the football on the 38-yard line of Oakland. And Atkinson, I believe, made quite a mistake. There's nothing but Houston Oilers around him. And the job really is for Cliff Branch, 21, to tell him whether to fair catch it or not. And of course, Atkinson, the veteran, might have just decided I can handle it.
Look at that ball still holding.
Al Johnson finally sits on it. Number 15, Houston has the ball. They're at the 37-yard line of the Oakland Raiders, and they trail 10-0. Burrows to the right now, splitting out further to the left. Number 18 is Joyner. Willie Rogers, and he's picked up immediately. Number 84, Tony Klein was there. 82, Horace Jones.
This team simply can't muster any ground attack at all, which is, of course, an overwhelming problem for them. Even if Pastorini were throwing well, you couldn't pass forever. You're looking there at
Al
Johnson.
It's a great split
problem is twofold on in the running department. A, they don't have good running backs. B, they don't have a good offensive line.
2nd and 12 from the 38-yard line. Pastorini back. Draws a crowd. Misses Byrne on the sideline. Willie Brown covering, and Pastorini took quite a shot.
There's a flag down.
Holding the Houston Oilers.
Al Johnson, the fellow who recovered that fumble a while ago, and you had a close-up there on your screen, number 15 for Houston, University of Cincinnati, was a quarterback at Cincinnati. Coach Peterson was talking last night. He says, I think really he was recognized as the 3rd best wishbone tee quarterback or option quarterback in the country last year. He placed him behind the quarterback at Oklahoma, Mildred, and Phillips in Texas. And he said, this guy, don't be too surprised if we don't try it sometime this year. We might put Johnson in as a wishbone quarterback and see what he can do.
Good runner. He gained over 1,700 yards of Cincinnati. Right now, we have a second down and 27. Pastorini in trouble. He'll draw the rush of these young Raiders. Klein really pops him, and he lets it go out of bounds. And Tony Klein, number 84, unloaded on Pastorini. Klein beating the block of LeVert Carr. And this young man he's been bumped around tonight, and he has also not thrown the ball well. There's a great player, George Webster, defensive linebacker. You know, he was the only one who's ever had a number retired at Michigan State.
He's the all-time AFL all-star linebacker or all-pro linebacker is Webster.
George Webster. And we'll be back at the Astrodome where the Oakland Raiders lead the Houston Oilers 10-0 after this message.
Bob Greasy doesn't wear give-and-take knit slacks from Sears when he works, but he could.
Blue 80!
They're a comfortable idea in double knit slacks because even the new Banroll waistband stretches, so they really give and take with the action. And they always look great because knits shake the wrinkles right out. Give-and-take knit slacks. You won't want to wear them all the time, but you could. Give-and-take knit slacks and all that goes with them at Sears, the men's store.
Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays the diehard from the swift completion of its appointed starts. The Sears Diehard, with extra power to start your car when most batteries won't. Sold only at Sears.
12 minutes and 4 seconds remain in the third quarter. The Houston Oilers down 10-0 to the Oakland Raiders. Dan Pastorini, the quarterback for the Houston Oilers, 1 of 12 tonight, 17 yards. That was a screen pass that happened about an hour and a half ago in the first quarter. Having a rough night. Third down and 27. Firing for Byrne, he has it. And out of bounds at the 34-yard line is Jim Byrne. Short of the first down. And that will bring on Skip Butler.
Let's take a look at this. As Frank just pointed out, this is his first completion to a wide receiver. Just a sideline pattern. It did not pick up enough for the first down. So they'll try the field goal.
Kemp next will set the ball up at about the 42-yard line for Skip Butler. And this is blocked. They have blocked, I believe, 3 field goals tonight between the two teams.
I'm telling you.
Boy, there's humanity.
That is.
Look at that.
Well, I hope we can get another look at that block, Don, because I want to see how low the trajectory is this time.
It was definitely too low.
Horace Jones comes up with the ball for the Oakland Raiders.
There it is. Now look at this, Don.
I want you to describe each one of these guys that covers the ball, Howard. Name them now. Here they go. Zoop. There goes the ball.
I think a few of them came off the bench.
Yeah, we'd be better off describing the ball.
That's Villapiano there is trying to get it.
41 is Villapiano, number 80.
Horace Jones has
Odd
3 shots
Tom.
at it.
You got to
80's
love
Odd
it.
Toms. 82, of course, is Jones from Louisville. 12th round draft choice a year ago. Back to the action.
On first and 10. There LaMonica wants to throw, and he gets stumped. Leo Brooks, number 73, was in there, along with Elvin Buffet, number 65.
Jeff, I think when this one is over, we should go into the league offices on Wednesday, get the films of the game, and take them around to local high schools as a study in futility.
Wow, that's heavy, Howard.
You said that, Howard.
Howard said that, America. Howard said that. Good old Howard.
You guys are ready to be taken off the hook, aren't you?
What hook? You're the one that's on the hook.
Second down and 20. The ball at the 32 of the Houston Oilers. There LaMonica guiding the Raiders. Both backs out. Dumps the screen to Hubbard. Hubbard gets back to about the 27-yard line. Stopped by Ron Pritchard, number 58. This man has been a football player tonight. He's been everywhere. Blanda hit on a 46-yard field goal in the first quarter. And then just before the half, Monica hit Fred Biletnikoff with 9 seconds remaining in the game. Another 5 seconds remaining in that first half to make it Oakland 10, Houston nothing. Third down now and 15. Biletnikoff is to the right. Siani is to the left. Monica is going to be hit. And he gets away. Almost picked off by Houston. LaMonica just stepping up in time to avoid Floyd Rice, who's coming on the blitz. So 45-year-old George Blanda trots onto the field. We're making a field goal attempt. Odds are it'll be blocked. At least statistically tonight, you could say that. They've blocked more than they've got off.
Frank Gifford said that in America.
From the 35. And when George Blanda trots away, you know he's made it. George Blanda extends the Oakland Raider lead to 13 points. Oakland 13, the Houston Oilers nothing. And also his all-time scoring mark in the NFL. We'll be back after this message.
Sunoco announces the football event of the year. It's NFL Action 72. Here's Coach Don Shula to tell you about it.
Now, Sunoco brings you something you parents will be interested in because it's fun for the entire family. Sunoco brings you NFL Action player stamps with stars from every pro team. Every time that you stop at a participating Sunoco station, you get a set of 9 official NFL Action player stamps. Free. They're great to collect and trade. And to help you save your stamps, there are 2 official Stamp Saver albums. This regular edition is 89 cents. And for $2.49, you get this deluxe album full of facts and photos. Both albums come with 144 extra player stamps. So get your family in on the fun.
Get NFL Action player stamps free at Sunoco.
Jerry DePoyster will set it up for the Oakland Raiders. 9 minutes, 31 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Willie Rogers on your left, Lindsey Cole on your right. Rogers 34, Cole 21.
Jerry DePoyster with a mustache must think he belongs to the Oakland Athletics.
This will be Cole at the goal line. Cole up over the 20. Number 40 getting down there very quickly for the Oakland Raiders. A fine running back who has not seen action tonight. That's Pete Banaszak. This program is being brought to you as an ABC Sports exclusive. And right now, let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. On 1st and 10, the ball just over the 20-yard line of the Houston Oilers. They trail 13-0. Boyle Granger moving over the line of scrimmage, picking up maybe a yard. A play. The person of a couple of Houston Oilers, Jim Byrne, the receiver, comes in. He brings the play from head coach Bill Peterson. Here's a man who's had quite a night, Elvin Bethea. Al Johnson is in at 1 setback. 2nd down and 9. The ball at the 21-yard line of the Oilers, and here comes Al Johnson. He's a former quarterback. Well, he can still throw it. That was a lateral. Boy, look at that arm. And wide open is Burrow. And he drops it. And had not Pastorini bobbled that ball, he would have been able to throw it in time to get that ball to Burrow, who was wide open. That's some razzle-dazzle. That's Al Johnson, whom Don was speaking of a moment ago. He was a quarterback at Cincinnati. Good runner, good passer. Here's Burrow. He's loping down to make it look as if he were looking back to the play.
don't believe Atkinson thought he could throw it that far. But I agree, if he had picked it up or had caught it, he could have rifled a little bit more and gotten that ball down in front.
3rd down and 9. And Pastorini draws the crowd, and down he goes, back inside the 20. Big number 60, Otto Sistrunk is there. Young man who never went to any major college. Matter of fact, didn't play college football at all.
Well, let's pick up that story that we began in the first half. Al Davis was in Los Angeles for a league meeting. Tommy Prothro thought he wanted to spy on the Rams in workouts. He called Davis, invited him into a workout. He said, "What guy do you like best?" And Davis pointed and said, "That one, I don't know his name." He said, "Well, that guy's name is Sistrunk." Now we'll complete the story later.
You're not going to stop that story again, are you? Go ahead, talk right through the punt.
Cliff Branch was 21, and he's back to field the punt of Pastorini. 9-3 sprinter, and he'll go nowhere. In, dropped inside his 30, 52-yard punt by Pastorini. The one thing he is doing well tonight. So the Oakland Raiders take over, and we'll be back at the Astrodome right after this message.
Civilized like an elegant woman, savage like a cat.
Mercury Cougar XR7, like nobody else's car. Buckets, tachometer, automatic floor shift, V8, all standard. No car combines more luxury and sportiness than Cougar XR7.
It's like nobody else's car.
Built better to give you more. At the sign of the cat.
Jim makes a point of helping you understand what you're buying.
Jim Mullins? Well, he's just a complete man.
These Vermonters are talking about their friend Jim Mullen, the kind of insurance man you don't mind seeing.
In our youth group, Mike, you can really talk to him, and he'll never put you down.
Jim? He's 1 in a million.
He's my daddy.
Jim Mullen in Burlington, Vermont is one of 22,000 Metropolitan life salesmen. Like Jim, they're all more than salesmen. At Metropolitan, we sell life insurance, but our business is life.
We're back. You see the score, 13-0. Oakland dandy Don Meredith insists we continue with the Otis Sistrunk story.
Yeah.
A week later, Prothro called
Wait a minute, now start off. Where?
Well,
within Los Angeles?
We're going to keep this going throughout the whole game to keep the tension alive. Gift?
1st and 10. The Oakland Raiders moving from their own 29. Monica's the quarterback. Charlie Smith, the ball carrier. He moves over the 35 to the 36. There's the young man we were speaking of a moment ago, Len Dickey, who had that severe injury, dislocated hip, the surgery, and hopefully he will be able to return to this game. Certainly not this year. Hopefully there is a future for this fine quarterback. Great-looking kid.
It really is a great-looking guy. He can throw that football, too.
Charlie Smith picks up 7 yards. It'll be 2nd down for the Oakland Raiders. They lead 13-0. 6:57 remains in the 3rd quarter. Here comes Marv Hubbard.
I've just been asked by our brilliant producer, director Chet Forty, to continue with the Otis Sistrunk.
Wait a minute.
In any event, Prothro called Davis a week later. He said, "Hey, you like that guy Sistrunk? You want him?" So Davis thought there was something going on in Prothro's mind that Davis didn't know about the kid. He said, "Well, I need another look at him." He said, "We're having an intra-squad scrimmage Saturday. Come down and see him." Now Davis goes to see him. The kid's the star of the game. He makes a deal with Prothro, and he gets the kid. What? And we'll finish it later.
Ball at the 44.5-yard line. 1st down for the Raiders. This is Charlie Smith. Gains about 2 yards.
Davis gives up.
Just a minute. Wait a minute. Did Davis come to Los Angeles?
Yes, he did.
Prothro had said.
Davis came to Los Angeles, saw the intra-squad scrimmage. Now he makes a deal with Prothro, gives up a number 3 future draft choice, gets back a number 4 future plus Sistrunk. At this very time, Carroll Rosenblum has acquired possession of the L.A. Rams. Rosenblum holds his first meeting with Prothro, and he knows about Sistrunk showing in the intra-squad game. Prothro says, "I've traded that kid." Rosenblum said, "What? He was the best-looking kid in the game. What did we get for him?"
When are you going to get to the rest of the story?
After this play.
2nd down and 7 from the 47, the reverse. And the reverse goes to Raymond Chester. Raymond Chester gets up to the 50. Dropped there by Pat Holmes, number 79, a gain of about 3.
To make a long story short, the Rams would like to have gotten Otis Sistrunk back. Instead, he wears number 60 for the Oakland Raiders, and Davis is convinced he's going to be a star for a lot of years to come. Injury, as you see, on the field.
I think that's Alexander, I believe.
Willie, number 19.
He was taking on a very big man in Raymond Chester, number 87, the tight end, who is such a fine runner. He's 6'3" and 225 pounds. Now watch him come around.
And he really does hit him too, Frank. Watch Chester as he hits Alexander, number 19. You'll see him come up. He does make the tackle, but head on right there, and you can see he's really out now. I think it's just he caught him right with his head. I believe he is knocked out.
Giff mentioned at the top of the game that Raymond Chester wasn't right, and that's true. Raymond tore up some cartilage in the ribs in the opening game of the season against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was that bitterly waged 34-28 victory by Pittsburgh, if you remember it, over Oakland. As a result, Raymond told me today at the hotel where they're staying, again, you're seeing the top of the dome, he said, please tell my coach, Earl Banks from college at Morgan State on the air, that I have not gotten fat, that I'm wearing padding to protect my ribs. So there it is, Earl Banks.
Speaking of the NCAA, college football will continue this Saturday on ABC with 3 telecasts. The majority of the nation will see Texas undefeated against Oklahoma, which is also undefeated. We'll also be televising Arizona, New Mexico, Citadel, and East Carolina regionally. So check your local listings for the time of the game in your area. 3rd down and 5. The ball resting just inside Houston territory at the 50. Zeke Moore has replaced Alexander. As Alexander on the sidelines, the attempt to Marv Hubbard, and Ron Pritchard was there to meet him. Willie Alexander in his 2nd year out of Alcorn A&M. And obviously shaken up on that tackle of Raymond Chester. Well, the Raiders cannot move the ball. That will bring on Jerry DePoyster.
Incidentally, Frank, while we await this punt, Raymond Chester has a consecutive game streak going for pass receptions, and I don't believe he's caught a pass tonight.
He has not. Almost in it over the head of DePoyster. Kenny Houston, the single safety, will let it bounce. Oh, and he'll play it. And he draws a crowd, and he goes down at the 4. Kenny Houston taking his chance. And it goes all the way back to the 4-yard line, where Dan Pastorini will have to go back to work. Four minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the standing room only crowd was just announced a few moments ago of 51,378.
What'd you do with that check for $800,000, Dandy?
Gave it back to you, Howard.
Dandy has been fondling a check for $800,000. That story he'll tell.
Right now, 1st and 10 for the Oilers. They'll move from their 4-yard line. And Robert the Tank Holmes, number 39, picks up a quick 11 yards out to the 15-yard line. The former Kansas City great. Hit there by Nehemiah Wilson.
Takeoff. Robert Holmes get his shirt. They just rip it off. He says, I'm going the other direction. The tearaway jersey is back.
He had a big year in '69 when Kansas City won it all and beat Minnesota in the Super Bowl. One of those low-slung backs that Hank Stram was always so partial to, and a very good receiver.
All right, they mark it at the 14, a gain of 9. 2nd down, a yard. Willie Rogers. He has the yardage for the 1st down. Holmes has a new wardrobe. Talking to Bill Peterson. Picks up the play. He'll bring it in. 1st and 10 for the Oilers. And this capacity crowd who booed that "We Thank You" fans that was printed on the scoreboard a few moments ago. It's a big cheer for their ball club. 1st and 10, the Oilers from their 20-yard line. mix-up as Willie Rogers winds up with the ball. And Art Toms winds up with Willie Rogers. I think they might have messed this one up a little, Don.
Yeah, it looked like one of those who wants it kind of things because it was a mix-up. But look at this Toms play that we've mentioned him several times tonight. But he played off his blocker very well, kept his head up, good position, saw the reverse or the attempted reverse, forced it in there for about a 4 or 5 yard loss. Good young football.
And we can tell you that Willie Alexander, we have been informed, is all right. Quite possibly will be back in the game. This now on 2nd and 15. Pastorini. Well, he's over the line of scrimmage. Finally forced out of bounds by number 82, Horace Jones, and the crowd doesn't like it. Bill Villapiano is also there along with Otis Sistrunk.
All right, again at the top of the screen is Burra. You see him being forced out of his pocket. Burra saw that. He takes off deep. He's in the middle again, trying to find an opening. Those guys are hard to see. Here's part of the Sistrunk. Whoop! Sistrunk gave him a shot to the chops. That's what the crowd was reacting to. That's the same guy that Howard attempted to tell that story about.
It's 3rd down and 12. Pastorini with both wide receivers. Going to the right end. Willie Brown almost picked that one off. Willie Brown covering Ken Burrow beautifully. This man is really having a difficult night.
Well, I don't really know much to say, Frank. It's just he's throwing to Burrow. Burrow goes up. He didn't come back for the ball, but the ball was not really thrown in where it should have been. Pastorini is not doing a very good job tonight.
Well, we can say he's punting well.
Good.
And this will be the speedster, Cliff Branch, rookie from Colorado with the 9.3 speed. And he's tripped up back at the 40-yard line. Getting down there quickly, number 19 of the Houston Oilers was Willie Alexander, only shaken up just a short while ago. You know, Marcus Welby has a fellow doctor as a patient this week. He gets worried when the man, convinced he has a terminal disease, tries to provide a mother for his son by a hasty marriage. Patrick O'Neill is the guest star, and you can get the whole story on Marcus Welby, MD, tomorrow at 10, 9 o'clock Central Time here on ABC. 1st and 10, the Raiders. And here comes Marv Hubbard. And he's met by number 90, George Webster. And oddly enough, Oakland, having dominated this game, are still well within striking distance of the Houston Oilers if they could do anything at all. They lead 13-0. Let's watch George Webster, Don. Good one.
He's had knee trouble in his career. He now plays just the weak linebacker or away from the tight end. He's a very knowledgeable football player. That's good pursuit coming in from the inside.
All right, on 2nd down and 9, LaMonica. Looking, it was a pick off. That's Zeke Marr, who came in to replace Willie Alexander. And Biletnikoff made a fine move. I believe Zeke Marr might have been able to hold on to that ball if Biletnikoff had not wrestled him for it. Well-traveled Kent Nix, who's the backup man to Dan Pastorini. And now he's working for Ma Bell.
Yeah. Handling those phones. He could get in there before the night's over, Frank.
He's won a lot of games coming off the bench. Last year was Chicago. LaMonica on 3rd and 9. Fires out to Clarence Davis. He has the first down. And he moves inside the 45. Stopped finally by Ken Houston, number 29, and number 58, Ron Pritchard.
It's a good job by LaMonica coming back in the pocket. Good job by his offensive line, pushing the defensive lineman past him. But he set good, solid, deep. Lineman came by, he came up. Of course, you just saw that on the screen. I don't know what I'm doing.
Clarence Davis, who played his college football for the number 1 team in the nation at the moment at the University of Southern California. He had as a blocking back. Young man who's scored 3 touchdowns for the Giants yesterday, Charlie Evans. And Clarence Davis was some kind of running back. And Darryl LaMonica kills the clock and kills the third quarter. That is the end of the third quarter with the score. The Raiders 13, the Houston Oilers nothing. We'll return after this word from our local stations.
Enjoy the Paul Lynde Show Wednesday night at 8, 7 o'clock Central Time.
Wait till Houston gets the ball. 15 minutes to play. The Oakland Raiders leading the Houston Oilers 13-0 from the Astrodome. Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell, Don Meredith. The game has been really highlighted by errors more than anything else. The Oakland Raiders with a touchdown just before the half. LaMonica to Blitnikoff have the 13-0 lead. 2 field goals by George Blanda. 1st and 10 for Oakland. LaMonica throwing again to Blitnikoff, and it bounced off the shoulders of Zeke Moore.
It's 2 that's hit Moore. He was right on Blitnikoff. He had him pretty well covered.
Let me ask you something. Well, we'll take another look at this, Don. You call it, and then I want to ask you a question.
Dale got pretty good pressure this time. He threw the ball actually before Blitnikoff had made any moves, but you'll see Zeke Moore running right with him, as he's coached to do. He was turning back, and as he turned back, the ball had already been thrown and hit him in the shoulder.
When Houston gets the ball again, would you put a veteran like Kent Nixon and take the youngster out who's having such trouble?
I don't really think I would, Howard, unless Pastorini is hurt. He's still got a lot to learn. He's learning the hard way. And if things keep up, he could very well get hurt out there.
2nd and 10 from the 44. Clarence Davis moves inside the 40, stopped there by George Webster.
Remember, Giff, there were a series of games last year when Nix was performing for the Bears. Concannon was hurt. Bobby Douglas was having his troubles, and Kent Nix won some games for the Bears in the late going of those games.
He's been around. I saw him play well for Pittsburgh.
I saw him play well for Pittsburgh. When I was still playing, he beat Dallas almost single-handedly one time in Pittsburgh. He's has played good football. I think the thing Coach Peterson's concerned with, though, is establishing something here, and he's chosen to go with Pastorini. And he's getting his knocks tonight.
Right now on 3rd and 4. LaMonica completes to Blitnikoff.
Wow.
Zeke Moore makes the stop, but it's 1st down Oakland. Fred Blitnikoff in his 8th year out of Florida State, where he played for the Houston Oilers coach, Bill Peterson. Good block by Clarence Davis. And he's taking George Webster, and he's giving away a lot of pounds.
And his helmet, and his headgear. A lot of pounds in his headgear.
You saw him go after it, too.
That's right.
1st and 10 Oakland. They're at the 30-yard line of the Houston Oilers. 13:30 remains in the game. Here comes Clarence Davis. Moving down to the 27. Stopped there by Leo Brooks. Ago, we didn't have the opportunity to tell you, but Zeke Moore, who came in replacing Willie Alexander, is seeing his first action in weeks. And if he appeared to be a little rusty and not turning around maybe to make the interception, it's because he really hasn't played. He had a broken arm in the early preseason. 2nd down and 7. The ball at the 27. This is LaMonica. Ciani. Touchdown. Mike Ciani.
That ball was Out on the mark again. Ciani coming in from the other side. Caught it just before he went out on the sidelines.
Benny Johnson covering all the way. And this ball well thrown by Darryl LaMonica.
Not anything fancy, Frank. You'll just see him come down, make a slight move, coming across the middle. He gets a step, and that ball was perfectly thrown.
Mike's having a big rookie year, collecting touchdown passes from Darryl. You'll remember in that losing effort to Pittsburgh, Mike caught 2. Then Darryl kept it up.
And this is George Blanda. Automatic, and he's done that over 700 times. So the Oakland Raiders go out in front of the Houston Oilers now, 20-0. And we'll be back at the Astrodome after this message.
Five cars, 5 dead batteries. But we're going to start all 5, all at once, with one battery. A 2-year-old Sears Die-Hard battery. The Die-Hard, with extra power to start your car when most batteries won't. It lives up to its name. Sold only at Sears.
Let one beautiful sweet introduce you to 2 more. Borkum Riff, the bourbon-flavored tobacco from Sweden, now introduces Borkum Riff cherry liqueur-flavored tobacco and Borkum Riff cognac-flavored tobacco. 3 beautiful sweets, all called Borkum Riff. Borkum Riff. Yeah.
This is the hand of George Webster, the Oilers' outstanding linebacker. And he had left the game prior to that last play, and he appears to have re-injured that hand. Right now, the Oakland Raiders, with 12 minutes and 49 seconds remaining in the game, have that 20-0 lead. And deep, Lindsey Cole on your right, Willie Rogers on your left. Jerry DePoyster to kick off. This will be Lindsey Cole. And down goes Lindsey Cole at the 15.
Trying to put this affair into some sort of perspective, Frank. It's obvious what the Oilers need. They need to develop their young quarterback who is not reflecting his real potential tonight or anything like it. They need running backs. They need strength in the offensive line. The Oakland Raiders have not played a good game, but they've got outstanding personnel. Some believe perhaps the best 40-man squad in the game. And what they need is a victory. It's like Stram's team in the game we had against New Orleans when Kansas City needed the victory at any cost because they were down at the moment.
Pastorini stays in. Hands off to Robert Holmes. Holmes with running room moves over the 25 to the 27. But the Oakland Raiders will be willing to give up the yardage on the ground. They know the only way they can get hurt is by the pass, and Dan Pastorini hasn't even threatened tonight. He's 2 of 16 for 36 yards. Jim Byrne, 81, is in, replacing Charlie Joyner. Byrne left, Burrow to the right. 1st and 10, the Oilers. They're at their own 27-yard line. Pastorini underthrows, and Burrow almost comes up with a great catch. And had he hit him, he might have gone a long way, Don.
He really could have, Frank, and of course, I guess I'm looking at it from the quarterback standpoint. I think he could have had it. Let's take a look at it. It was a little bit low, but, you know, a night like tonight, should have been nice for him to pick that thing up because, as you said, he had a look at that stride that guy's got. He sure can run with it when he catches it. The ball was a little bit low, but he could have picked that thing up. It would have been a foot race.
2nd down and 10. Now at the 27. The Oilers, with no points on the scoreboard, trailing 20-0. They like this play, and Oakland has finally figured that one out.
Yeah,
Robert Holmes go down. Bill Villapiano, you can fool him a couple times, but you better not try it more than twice. Good head steady ball player, second-year man out of Bowling Green. We saw him on Monday night a year ago against Cleveland when he had a great night.
He is a good heading linebacker, and he's got the kind of quick action that is perhaps the best index of what Detroit throws at you, with that trio of Newmoff, number 50, Lucci 53, and Wayne Walker 55, and you'll be seeing those guys next Monday night as the Lions go against the Green Bay Packers in a fight for first place, Central Division NFC.
Third down and 15. Dan Pastorini still having his problems. Going deep. Earl is there. Earl was back there.
I couldn't see again, but it looked as if Tatum didn't tip it, it hit Burrow again. One thing Pastorini can't do, he can throw it a long way.
Oh, he just one-handed that. Number 48 is Nehemiah Wilson.
I thought it was Tatum. I'm sorry.
Well, it hurts when it hits you in the shoulder.
Yeah.
So Dan Pastorini, who's been punting well tonight,
didn't hurt me.
Will have another opportunity to punt. 4th and 15. That's really the story of this game. Pastorini, 3 of 19, 31 yards.
Hometown crowd seems to have read that story because they're beginning to filter out of this Astrodome and head back to various parts of Harris County.
Pastorini doing the punting. Deep 21, Cliff Branch. Dropping back there, number 43, Georgia Atkinson. Now the single safety. The hometown boy. Cliff Branch, 9'3" sprinter from Colorado. Well, I should not have said it. High and short is Pastorini's punt. It's out to Oakland's 45-yard line. So that's the story at this moment at the Astrodome. The Raiders 20, the Oilers nothing, 10:30 remaining in the game. We'll be back after this message.
Gillette makes a better double edge now than the one your father used. The smoothest edge we can put on a blade for the smoothest shave we can put on your face. The Platinum Plus blade. And someday, Gillette will make even a better blade for your son. The more things change, the more they stay the same. We made the first blade, and we're still the first blade. Gillette. Platinum Plus.
I wouldn't use an antiperspirant if I didn't have to, but I have to. I perspire. It's just that a lot of antiperspirants smell artificial. But not this new one. It's new Right Guard Natural Scent Antiperspirant. It smells light, clean, like after a shower, and it helps keep me dry all day. New Right Guard Natural Scent Antiperspirant. I like the way it works. I like the way it smells.
This is the rookie coach, Bill Peterson, and he's upset. His ball club has not had a good night.
You can understand it, especially after the hope provoked by last week's upset victory.
Oakland now with the football, and there's a story, 232-73. Oakland doing nothing dramatic, but still moving the football. Have run up 20 points.
We talked about the players Houston needs, Frank, to build that team for the future, the positions and all of that. Something else they need, and this bears upon what we touched on early in the first half, continuity of leadership. 8 coaches in 12 years, it's impossible to have that. If Bill Peterson gets his shot over a span of years, and I think you'll see results.
You saw Marv Hubbard coming to the sidelines. He was shaken up after he carried that ball and looked like he was a little mad at linebacker Floyd Bryce. He picked up 5 yards. His second down now and 5. And here comes Clarence Davis. Pat Holmes in on the stop.
Not a bad night there.
He's had a good night. Considering he goes back to a time when he could not make this Raider team. That was back in 1968.
That's when Giff and I went up to Hartford to watch him play for the Hartford Charter Oaks, and Giff espied the greatness of the youngster and called Al Davis and said, "Get him back."
Did I do that?
No.
Well, Well, anyway, he led the league at Hartford in that Atlantic Coast Conference, came back and has made it big with Oakland. Davis picks up the first down. It's 1st and 10 Oakland at the 44 of Houston. Tillman makes the stop on number 40, Pete Banaszak.
This is the time of the ball game, and Oakland's going to be obviously running the ball. There's no need for them to really put it in the air. Puts it back, and it's also a real test to a young Houston defensive team. These guys have got to be tired now. They look at the scoreboard. Their offense has not been productive tonight. And you could see the team fall apart. Hopefully they won't, because you hate to see any team do that.
2nd down and 5. The ball at the 39 of the Houston Oilers. Siani left, Biletnikoff right, and Don's right. Darryl Lamonica wants to run it out. Pete Banaszak gets the call, picks up about 2 yards. Kent Nix watching from the sidelines, communicating with scouts up in the box.
He's asked him, does it look any different up there than it does down here?
No.
They said no.
All right, it'll be 3rd down, a long 3. The ball at the 36.5-yard line. Darryl Lamonica puts Biletnikoff out to the right. He'll face Alexander. Siani is out to the left to meet Benny Johnson. Both backs flooding right. And the attempt goes out to Biletnikoff. A flag is down.
I believe they caught it up. Oakland guy, well, they caught him holding. If that's not right, then I'll just go ahead and miss another one. But I think that's what it is.
All right, Houston will probably take the penalty.
And Oakland will probably throw a 40-yard touchdown.
Now, Houston, of course, wanting to move Oakland out of field goal range. Down will remain 3rd down. There's the holding call. Don, you got it.
1 out of 13. Thank you, Chet.
3rd down, about 19 now. The ball back at the 49-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Out in front, 20-0, 7:40 on the clock. This time Siani comes right. And going deep. And just tipped away, intended for Cliff Branch. Kenny Houston, a real football player from these Oilers, was back there to make the deflection. Zeke Moore, number 22, also back helping.
Interesting how he retains his individual excellence, Kenny Houston, in the face of a team performance that's been so dispiriting. You know, Don?
Yes. That is amazing. They've really been dispiriting.
And he'll drop back to accept the punt of DePoyser. Kenny Houston led the AFC last year in interceptions with 9. Here's DePoyster. This time Kenny Houston will call for the fair catch at the 13-yard line. 38-yard punt. So the Houston Oilers send their offensive team back out to give it another try. They trail 20-0 with 7:26 remaining in the game. We'll be back after this message.
The American worker. Today, some people are saying that he just doesn't measure up, that he can't build products with the kind of careful workmanship his father's generation did. Today, some people say you have to go overseas to get quality like that. Well, to that kind of thinking, we politely answer, bunk. Every colored TV Zenith makes is built right here in the United States by Americans like these. As far as we're concerned, our own people here at home have proven that you can't do better than honest American craftsmanship. Measure up? We think the American worker more than measures up. It's Zenith people like these who've made it possible for us to say since 1927. At Zenith, the quality goes in before the name goes on.
Back at the Astrodome, the Oakland Raiders looking very much as though they're going to stay 1/2 game off the pace of Kansas City in the AFC's Western Division race and tied with San Diego. They lead the Houston Oilers 20-0, 7:26 remaining. And this young man, Dan Pastorini, has had a really difficult night. He has to throw, trailing 20-0. A flag goes down. Charlie Joyner can't hang on to it. He's hit by Jack Tatum, number 31. A flag down at the line of scrimmage. Offsides, Oakland. George Blanda started the scoring in the first quarter, hitting from 46 yards out.
This is a play before, a little on the kick we had before. A little battle working here between Alexander and Maxwell. Let's take a look at it. 42 on your left and 19. What's this right here? He says, wait a minute, fella. Alexander's 19. Wow. You know, we're looking awful hard for some action for you, folks.
On first down and 5. And picked off by number 43, George Atkinson.
And for those of you who have just joined us, Oakland leads this contest 20-0.
And as I started to say, they have not been too exciting doing it. They've been, as a matter of fact, kind of methodical.
Now that you've mentioned it, Frank.
That's a fine interception. George Atkinson coming all the way across, taking it out of the hands of Alvin Reed. LaMonica is hit for a pair of touchdowns, one to Biletnikoff, another to Ciani. Blanda added another field goal from 35 yards out. First and 10, Oakland. They'll move from the Houston Oilers 30-yard line. Here comes Clarence Davis as a flag goes down. Davis spinning away to the 20-yard line. But a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Backfield in motion against Oakland. It appeared as if Hubbard was the man who was ahead of the count.
What you thinking about this contest, Andy?
That about sums it up. No, it's been unfortunate, Howard, because the Oilers were very excited about last week. They obviously played good enough football to beat a good football team in the New York Jets. They know they are not a contending team this year, but they're certainly hopeful of being representative. And tonight's really not a very representative night, as you pointed out. So I know they're very disappointed. And as you say again, Oakland has not played that well either.
First and 15, Oakland. From Houston's 35-yard line. Pete Banaszak. Banaszak stopped there by Phil Croyle, who has replaced number 59 is Croyle, and he's replaced George Webster. And I believe there might have been a face mask called. Of course, that this year is only a 5-yard penalty unless it's deliberate, considered flagrant violation. And this one will be marked off 15 yards.
Must have been flagrant.
Yep. If they deem it to be purposeful, that's it. 15.
Personal foul. And coming up next Monday night, two fine football teams in quite a race in that Central Division. Well, how about Minnesota?
Hard to understand, Giff. Sometimes I think Francis Dawkinson is snake bit. He moved that team right back up the field after Quazzo's touchdown pass to Moore. Positioned for the field goal, and then as we showed at halftime, that Roger Worley trick.
Pete Banaszak on first down. Another flag goes down. But it really has made quite a race out of that Central Division. We'll be in Detroit next Monday night for Detroit and Green Bay.
I think the thing to remember, especially when you're talking about that black and blue division, Frank, being 1-3, Minnesota is still an outstanding football team. Everybody in the country knows it, and they're not out of that race yet. There's a lot of time to go.
Illegal procedure, this time against Oakland. I believe that's 3 straight penalties on 3 consecutive plays.
You agree, Giff, about Minnesota?
Very definitely. And, of course, their loss was to St. Louis, out of their division.
Of course, we pick up Minnesota the week after the Green Bay-Detroit game.
Well, I'll I'll say it again. It's still 1st and 15. It's been that way for about 4 or 5 minutes now. 6:39 remaining in the game. Here comes Clarence Davis. Keeps his feet. Moves inside the 25 to the 23. Zeke Moore wound up with the football, but they'll bring it back. Ron Pritchard in on the stop. And this man has been really busy.
He really has. Nobody came out to get him that time, so he had kind of a free run of it. So those middle linebackers kind of wind up before they hit those folks. You see him throw those arms back.
Clarence Davis is feeling the effects of that.
I think he caught that forearm right across the forehead.
You know, linebackers always we're kind of weird, Don.
Yeah, well, you got to watch them.
They're a special breed. You know, they make them just right where they can move fast, and yet they're still big enough to carve you up. Pritchard now with 8 individual tackles, 6 assists. I'm going to hear a lot about this young man. 2nd down and 12 now for Oakland. And at tight end is Bob Moore, number 88. Banaszak is back in. Charlie Smith, the other setback. Banaszak 40, Smith 23. Lamonica in trouble, gets it away. Ciani holds on to it. Now he drops it. I don't believe this game.
It didn't happen, did it?
Houston's ball, and who got it? Willie Alexander, I believe, finally came up with the ball. It'll be 1st and 10, the Oilers, well, from their 7-yard line.
Here it is, just a little kind of turn-in pattern. A little low. Almost dropped it, as you pointed out. Comes back in. Man alive.
So the Houston Oilers take over. 1st and 10 on their own 7. We'll be back at the Astrodome after this message.
We've proved in test after test how smooth our big Mercury Marquis can ride. But how about our smaller Mercury, the personal-size Montego MX Brougham? Karen and Zach Taylor, whose hobby is home movies, will help the Nationwide Consumer Testing Institute evaluate the Montego's ride. While Karen drives through scenic California horse country, Zach will shoot with one movie camera. An identical camera mounted on the axle will film the same scenes. The wheel camera shows how rough the road really is, while Zach's camera gives clear proof how smooth and steady Montego rides. Montego's big car ride is built to Lincoln Mercury's high standards on an extra wide stance and the same type high stability suspension system as our most expensive luxury cars. 73 Mercury Montego, built better to ride better.
Pictures don't lie.
At the sign of the cat.
The Houston Oilers down 20-0. Get the football back. Ciani fumbled. Willie Alexander recovered. Dan Pastorini going all the way on a very bad night for the Houston Oilers. Uh-oh. And Pastorini gets out over the 10 to the 12. And he's dropped there by big number 84, Tony Klein.
Clarence Davis, 28 of Oakland, who went out just a couple of seconds ago. The report was only dazed. If there any need to use him again, they could. I don't know if we'll see him again under these circumstances. And laying it right on the line. And I think we've been pretty honest about it. This has not been a good football game. But we think we've got 2 great games coming up over the next weekend. Texas against Oklahoma in college football on Saturday. Green Bay against Detroit next Monday night.
Texas are
2nd down and 4. Pastorini, and it's deflected, and it's picked off by Otis Sistrunk. And you can pick up the story, Howard. Sistrunk has scored.
Al Davis was in Los Angeles, and they went to this scrimmage, you see. I don't remember what happened after that. I remember that part of it.
Dandy, that was a problem at SMU.
No.
Retention.
Sistrunk did not go to SMU. You said he didn't go to college. I remember that part of the story.
No, Otis didn't go to college. And Al Davis did go to a scrimmage at the invitation of Tommy Prosper.
Can I finish a little of that story? He happens to come from a very large family in Columbus, Georgia, and he had to work, and he had to take care of that family. And then he finally went up to Norfolk and played up there in the Continental League. And he decided he wanted to try out the big time. So he comes up with the interception. Otis Sistrunk. From the 14-yard line, here comes Clarence Davis. And look at him break tackles. He'll score.
Well, they put him back in. We said he was only dazed. I don't know what the exigencies were that dictated the need for another touchdown, but John Madden, the coach, decided to use Davis again, and that was the result.
Coming off a broken bone in the shoulder, playing his first game in 7 weeks. And he adds a lot of spark to the Oakland attack. Good kick return man, was second in the American Football Conference last year, returning kickoffs.
Southern California has had a lot of great runners in its history.
That they have.
I think beginning with a fellow who wore number 16 and is immediately to my left.
And you're looking at another 16, knuckling it through for the conversion. George Blanda.
Number 14 is warming up on the sideline. Kent Nix is going to pull this one out of the fire.
You think he's excited about coming in?
Don't you know he's thrilled?
27-0, the Raiders over the Oilers. And it'll keep that American Football Conference Western race alive. Harlan Savari with some real good troops down in San Diego. And, of course, Kansas City off on a 3-1 record thus far. There's Bill Peterson, great college record at Florida State. Spent 1 year at Rice. Turned down several professional offers. Wound up here in Houston. And as Howard mentioned, I think will probably turn out to be a very fine coach. I know his 5 boys are watching around the nation. Jerry DePoyster set to kick. On your left, Willie Rogers. Lindsey Cole on the right, and this will be Cole. The back of the end zone, he'll stay there. All right, will we see Kent Nix, or will we again see Pastorini? 4 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the game. And we are going to see Kent Nix. I wonder what you tell a quarterback, Don, in a situation like this.
Well, we got to establish the run.
Be careful, one thing.
Is establish the run, son. Mix them up. Call your own plays and have fun. He said, you kidding me, coach?
All right, Kent Nix at quarterback. 6 years. He's a Texas Christian boy. Well, Charlie Joyner's offside. Kent Nix, maybe justifiably so for the little action he's seen, bobbles the snap from center. There's our game for the evening. Oilers, 4 interceptions.
Isn't that amazing?
Raiders have lost 4 fumbles. That equalizes that. Is that all the block kicks we had? Only 3?
A couple of them were blocked twice.
4:25 remaining in the game. Raiders, a good, solid football team.
They are that. Tonight's not representative of their abilities. They get a victory they need. They're tied with San Diego now. Half game off the pace with Kansas City. And with San Diego so quickly rebuilt and so wisely so by Harlan Savari, we could have a great 3-way race in the Western Division of the AFC.
At number 74 in the defensive line is Tom Keating. Flag goes down. The pass is completed. The number 89 Alvin Reed, but the flag is downfield. We have seen a few penalties tonight also. Holding against Oakland.
55, Dan Connors, 74, Tom Keating in there. The 2 great veterans who have been benched in favor of the youngsters you talked about. There's Johnny Madden, who at 32 when he started coaching Oakland was, of course, the youngest coach in the National Football League. And Johnny's record and Oakland's hold record is about as good a record as you could want to find, Frank, because they've been in 4 championship games in the last 5 years.
But he has. He's done a terrific job. And he has gradually changed the nature of this team. He has a lot of youth. This is Kent Nix. Firing is picked off by number 48, Nehemiah Wilson. And you may as well have some fun, Nehemiah. And out of bounds on the 2-yard line. Nehemiah Wilson, all 6 feet, 180 pounds of him.
Well, of course, when a team deteriorates, it can go all the way. We'll take another look at it. It's not really important anymore in the evening's proceedings. You're watching Kent Nix looking out, his projected receiver slipping, leaving the field wide open for Nehemiah Wilson. And Brett Dawson was the intended receiver. Nehemiah cutting across field, picking up downfield blocking. And as you see, staggering down and going out of bounds on the 2-yard line.
Howard, you sound so excited.
He really is.
Let's tell it like it is.
All right, let's go.
Stabler at quarterback. First and goal from the 2. Left-handed, wide open, number 88, Bob Moore, who generally plays his football when Raymond Chester is hurt or on third and short yardage. Stabler's had quite a night.
1 for 1. Listen, Giff, you weren't with us our first year. We saw a team play this badly that wound up in the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys, when St. Louis really destroyed them.
I remember that.
St. Louis will never forget it.
Yeah.
Raiders 33, Blanda on to make it 34. Oilers nothing.
Well, we've got a big one coming up. What better way to spend a Saturday afternoon than with NCAA college football? And most of you this coming Saturday will be seeing the annual classic between Texas and Oklahoma. Oh, what an offense Oklahoma has with little number 30, Greg Pruitt, rated number 1 in the nation at the moment. Great in the use of the wishbone tee. Jack Mildren already just a memory, number 12 with the Baltimore Colts. Texas always so great under the leadership of Darrell Royal.
Come on, orange and white.
Jerry DePoyster will kick off. The Raiders have extended their lead now 34-0. Willie Rogers on your left, Lindsey Cole on your right. This is Lindsey Cole, 1 yard deep. Well, you could almost expect it. He'll stay in.
For those of you who are just joining us, we have 3 minutes, 52 seconds left in this game. It's hard to explain.
I can tell you that Oakland has not been dramatic. They have been methodical. Darryl LaMonica has thrown for 2 touchdown passes. Kenny Stabler threw for a touchdown pass. George Blanda hit for 2 field goals, 46 and 35, and there is our time remaining. Kent Nix is now quarterbacking in place of Dan Pastorini, and here comes Robert Holmes. Robert the Tank Holmes, upended by Jack Tatum. Holmes came to the Oilers in a trade to send Willie Frazier to Kansas City. Gained 323 yards here last year. Of course, his great years were 68 and 69. He had over 800 yards in 68, over 600 in 69. Jim Byrne brings in the play from head coach Bill Peterson. Burns, number 81. First and 10, Houston. They move now from their own 37. Watch out, Kent. Horace Jones nails Kent Nix. And you had a very good chance to see Horace Jones almost unobstructed as he came directly in on the blind side of Kent Nix. Ken Burrow has a dent in his shoulder pad on the left.
Yeah, they tried him around his knees. He missed them there. Up around his shoulders. He missed one there. They haven't found that. They hit him right between those 2 zeros.
Second down now and 17. Ball at the 31. And Nix underthrows to Robert Holmes.
Right there is a vivid picturization of the excitement attendant upon this game.
I guess we'll have some more shots of the crowd for you in a little while, folks. And they're number 1 in the nation. All right, back here at halftime. Okay, Kent, let's get this thing going. Be a good Texas Christian, boy.
Third down and 17. Sistrunk, Dan Connors, they all meet Robert Holmes.
Oh, boy. Astrodome, the 8th wonder of the world.
We've got 2 minutes and 18 seconds left, and then we've only got 7 days till we watch Green Bay against Detroit, fellows. I'm looking forward to it.
Good, Howard.
Scott Hunter, Greg Landry. 2 pretty good young quarterbacks, Don.
Yes, sir.
On 4th down, Pastorini back into punt. I wonder if the New Orleans Stadium is going to be the 9th wonder of the world.
I don't know. That's called a Superdome.
They claim you can put this one in that one.
What is it supposed to seat? 80-something, 84,000?
About 102.
Okay.
Well, we have timeout on the field. The Raiders out in front of the Oilers, 34-0. We'll be back after this message.
Minnesota snow country, site of the United States Auto Club snow tire test. Sears steel-belted radial snow tire challenges 2 of America's leading snow tires. Test conditions are rigid. Each set of tires is mounted on the same car and driven by the same professional driver. Each test is filmed individually. In a series of starting tests, 1 snow tire averages 8% better in starting traction. The Sears steel-belted radial snow tire. And in a series of stopping tests, the Sears snow tire averages 11% better in stopping traction. What makes this snow tire so different? Snow gripping radial design, 2 flexible steel belts, and a deep biting tread. For starting traction, for stopping traction, for all-around winter driving. Get the Sears steel-belted radial snow tire. Only at Sears.
2 minutes remain in the game. Dan Pastorini then to punt. He was the second leading punter coming into tonight's game, averaging 47. He's dropped off a little, even in punting. Cliff Branch drops deep. Little rookie from Colorado with the great speed. And this one draws a little ice. He really hit it. That'll boost the average a little.
Sir.
Yes, it will. Down to the 6-yard line. 63-yard punt. That should really help the average. Inside the 2-minute mark, we'd like to thank our statistician, Jerry Kepstein, our spotter, John Breen. Isn't that cute? That's our statistician right there.
That's our average viewer at this point, and probably has been for some time past.
I wouldn't linger too long, though.
That kid could have been born in the stadium. I don't know.
1:30, the clock moving. Oakland with a 34-0 lead. Not terribly excited about getting things underway. Sabre now in at quarterback.
I think you ought to set the offense, Frank.
And then set the Houston defense, Frank.
And then let's have a shot of the Astrodome.
You know how much fun you guys are in a game like this.
Yeah, I know.
Garland Boyette is in the lineup.
There it is. It's always a fascinating shot back to the opening of our show as we pan down to the gridiron itself. The AstroTurf at which you're looking, the subject of so much controversy, debate, and discussion. The action resumes. Gifford tells about it.
2nd down and 7. Banaszak for the 1st down. That should be enough to get rid of the clock.
Pete Banaszak, number 40, steady-going performer, underrated through all the years.
And Garland Boyette made the stop. We can tell you that our executive producer of NFL Monday Night Football is Roone Arledge. Tonight's game was produced by Chet Forty and Dennis Lewin, and directed by Chet Forty and Joe Assetti. Our associate director, Jack Gallivan. Our technical directors, Bill Morris and John Broderick. Assistants to the producers, Jim Cute and Howard Katz. Engineering supervisor, Roy Robbins. Our unit manager, Bob Ellsworth. As the clock ticks off, and she keeps her eyes on the football game, which now is over. The Oakland Raiders have won the game 34-0 over the Houston Oilers. We'll be back at the Astrodome after this message.
Russia this year.